It's totally fine to ignore some people, block them if you have to, if that's okay for you. But I don't. I think it's quite rude. I wouldn't like it if someone do that to me. So hello beautiful, hello handsome, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we are doing a storytelling. I learned some of you ladies still don't know how to do your makeup. It's 2025, so we are doing this subtle, like everyday makeup look, not too much, whilst I tell you about my worst date experience. Let's get into the video. All right, so my brow is done and my lashes, I did a cluster lash. I did it myself yesterday, yeah, in the evening. It took me hours to do it. So let's get into the makeup session while we talk about my experience. Yeah, so I have my makeup stuff here. Somewhere last year, I went out with my cousin to grab some stuff at a close by shop, okay? And then on our arrival to the shop, this car drove past us and he came back. Then we were at the shop, right? So I'm using this shallow palette. I've had it like years. So he came up to us like, hello, how are you doing and all that, and he offered to pay for the things we are getting. And then he did. He paid for them, and then he took my number. From then we were chatting from time to time. I was busy then. So one time he came up with an idea like, oh, let's go on a date till I get to know you, then you get to know me too. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So it took me like 2 weeks because I was busy then. I was working, coming back late and all that. So I was like, okay, that's fine. So yeah, after 2 weeks, I told him, I'm free this weekend, so we can do the dates this weekend. He was like, okay. So I'm done with the shadow. I use some of the shadow to just brush down there. If you have pencil, that's fine. On Friday, a day before, he sent me a message like, so what time works for you? I'm like, okay, 7 p.m. 7 p.m. will do. So by 6:30 that Saturday, he was around. And I was like, okay. He was right on time. So it took me some minutes. And he was like, I was supposed to meet a friend. But then he didn't call me till now. He's at the mall, so let's go. Let's pass by the mall like real quick. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Yeah. We got to the mall. He saw the friend, and I was in the car for like 30 minutes or so, waiting for them to finish what they are doing. 30 minutes. Then no, I was like, I should have stayed home. I was kind of disappointed. I don't know, maybe disappointed. The friend came by the car to say hi, and he was like, hey, our wife. You are whose wife? You the who? Me, that it doesn't push me. I don't know why, but our wife. wifey and all that. Oh, you look good. Sorry, I had to keep you waiting. I was like, it's fine. But then, that our sorry, that's our wife. It's a red flag. I'm using this fave foundation. I usually use a darker shade. I don't want to be looking different like Fanta and my neck is like cocoa. So I normally use darker shade. I don't want bright ones. So let me use this and my favorite brush, foundation brush. So let's get into the story. So our wife for now took me off. Like our wife Friday is a red flag. You know that if you've been there, if you know what I'm saying, you get it. Why? Sorry. Why our wife? So he came back and was like, oh sorry, it took me. I'm like, it's fine. It wasn't fine. I'm like, it's fine. Tell me why he was now asking, where do we go? 2 weeks. You could have planned something. Please, just be intentional. Like, I like my mind intentional. I don't know, like 2 weeks. It took us 2 weeks to come up with a time for the date. So you should know that, or maybe you could have asked them. Do you get it? But then, like that minute now, you're asking where are we going? Where do I want to go? Lack of communication. It was that point I knew I should have stayed in the house. I should. So from the mall, he was like, where should we go? And I'm like, I don't know. And he told me there's a place nearby. Always make sure to bring down your foundation. There is a place nearby. We should go there. However, if I don't like the place, we will go to another place. I'm like, okay, that's okay. And he continued to ask if I've heard or I know of Bulldog. Goes on a date. I don't know, a place called Bulldog on a date. That is something toxic. That sounds toxic. So, of course, I didn't know the place. So if you are in Kumasi and you know of Bulldog, you know what I'm saying. It's not a place for a date. So he was like, oh, it's actually nearby, so let's pass there. If you don't like the place, then we change the place. I'm like, okay. He showed me, that's the place. There was a whole lot of people, loud music. Some of them are dancing. It's like a club or something. If you know Kumasi, the place is like +2. Yes, a date. Oh, in an environment like that, no, please. How are you going to talk to me? How am I going to hear you? Or how are you going to hear what I'm saying? So then I'm like, no. And mind you, it was that time of the month. Okay, so I don't want to, like, you easily get irritated. I don't want to be bothered. You get it? But I'm like, okay, let me see this. I will go to my ally again because I'm not feeling it. So we got there and I'm like, no, I don't like that place. I told him I don't like that place. And then he was like, okay, there's another place. It's around 100. So we got there and the place was like a hideout. And he was like, oh, take the lead. Ladies first. I'm right behind you. I'm like, okay. It was a narrow stairs to that place. And it was quite dark. So I was kind of scared. I don't know where I'm going or what I'm getting into. I got there. It looks like a casino. Why are we going on a date in a casino or at a casino or something? There was this snooker, this ball, there were lots of stuff there, and there was a lot of guys. Almost everyone, almost all of them were guys. Eh. So I stood at the entrance, like, and he looked at me and he was like, "No, let's go to another place."
How are you telling me this?
We could have just stayed at the mall. They have there's Kent's Cap and other places we could have just okay at that point. So we left that place and we got to another place. We went to another place. Yeah, that wasn't bad. They had two sections. It was around 100 there behind Luma. So it wasn't bad. He chose where he can watch football. So basically, his attention was on the ball whilst he was trying to come up with conversations to, and still, I told you it was that time of the month. I was not feeling it. But what can I say? I've left my comfort zone already. So let me deal with this and then just go home. So I was just trying to let the day end so quick so I get home or something. All this while I was like, if I leave this place, I'm not going to block him, but he's not going to hear from me or see me again. Blocking someone is quite rude for me. I did it once, I didn't like it, so it's kind of rude to me. So I'm not going to block him. It gets loud sometimes, and he was trying to have a conversation, so he will have to talk louder. He was sitting somewhere like this, and he is an aggressive, you know, the kind of people when they are talking they have to be touching you, like putting their hands on you anyhow. Okay, that was one of them. He was one of them. He was putting his hands on me and
Dang, oh God.
so he was basically talking about himself. He had one kid, and then the baby mama, like it was all about himself. So he was talking, like shouting, and also doing all that. Literally his hands was on my lap, like he was touching my, like, so you know, all this while I was like, I should have stayed in the house. Why am I even here? But anyway, I'm here already, so let me just like let me just stay and then leave. He was talking. In my mind, this person is not seeing me again. So I didn't care about what he is saying. So I'll just sit there and listen. And after everything, I was like, I'm not feeling very well. Can we just go? Then we do this some other time. Yeah. And he was like, oh, that's fine. That's okay. And he was like, you're not feeling well. Do you need a medicine or something? I'm like, no, I'm okay, but maybe I can just use some rest. He was like, okay, let me just take you home. He dropped me home. Guess what I did when I go home? I didn't block him. That's quite rude. I don't block. I don't block. I think the lip is fine. Yeah. And I'll do lip gloss too. That's lip gloss. It's for my friend. I took it from my friend. Just like that. Don't judge me. You know, the word have over I think 80, I stand to be corrected, like over billions of people, and it's totally fine if you ghost some people, you block them, you just leave them out of your life, ignore them. It's totally fine. That's what I did. I didn't want to get into the, it wasn't interesting. So I go home and I'm like, I'm not talking to this person again. And this thing pained me because I thought like I could have just rest, I could have just sleep. Right? And then I decided to go on the date. It didn't go very well. Not that I was thinking. It didn't go very well. It was over. I think my makeup is eating. Yeah. So basically, yeah. I came back and I didn't talk to this person again. Like we can't, no, I'm not interested. So yeah, I could have just think about it. Imagine it was the other way around. It was going to be very easy for him to ghost me. You know that? And it's totally fine if I ghost him too. It's totally fine. So there's over a billion people in the world. It's totally fine to ignore some people, block them if you have to, if that's okay for you. But I don't. I think it's quite rude. I wouldn't like it if someone do that to me. So this is my makeup look at the end. Let me know how I did. Rate me from 1 to 5. So if you have any other suggestion, comment below. Like and subscribe to this channel. If you want us to go into details about this whole makeup look, just leave them in the comment section and I'll be glad to read them and reply you. I love you all so much. Have a wonderful weekend ahead. Okay, bye.